Okay. Just to look at my little setup. My rain jacket and these nice, these are for a ground kit for attaching to the pad. They kind of get the underquilt just snug over me. Maybe not ideal for some people, but this is the warmest I've had this heat seeker underquilt. Again, they're like they're on Etsy, and a guy named Steve makes them from Michigan, and they're like $100. So, like, yeah, got my little jacket I've been using over my quilt here. Anyway, got my little tire here. A lot of times you can't find things around your hammock and you gotta improvise. But, yeah, this is it. Got my slit line is a ridge. I droop these around it. Can kind of tighten them up with that. Steve stitched up some nice little loops for me. And my little dark room with my jacket over it. Yeah, there it is. Now, another thing I have for this is one of these loops. I don't know what I was doing. I guess what I'm saying is I kind of like, yeah, here it is. I like something to kind of pull it up here where I want so it can't slide down off your feet. But again, this is always a lot of rigging with these underquilts. I suppose the better quality, the closer it fits. A lot of companies have these loops, and I see a lot of hammocks have loops. One of my other ones does, so you can kind of hook them up. But I had that before on one of my other hammocks, and I really like it over the ridge line. It just is real easy. I can slip out of here, no problem. I can get up and get into it, but it looks like kind of a headache. But if you're on a budget and you want the most thermal efficiency, it was about 23 degrees. So his stuff's, I guess, wasn't windy. My tarp's on. I wasn't cold really. My feet were for a while, but I just had to kind of sneak that thing up there the way I need it. I don't use an underquilt solo very much. I use my pad with it, but solo, this wasn't too bad in this little tiny hammock. Hey. All right, what the heck is he doing today? I know a lot of backpackers and hammockers are on more of a budget, so you have two factors. What's the biggest budget and what is lightweight? And you know, you can kind of bring a third factor in and say what actually works. For a while I've been working with this quilt. A lot of people know it as a Costco quilt or maybe a black diamond quilt, and there are crafts people out there who sew them together different ways. And this is just from Steve Hazel in Michigan. I've been working with this quilt for a while. I'm mainly a hammock pad guy, so most of the time I've been using it to supplement my pad. And yeah, there's Superior Gear out of Minneapolis who can sew a whole neat integrated hammock system with the quilt on it. I really like that. There's some other designs where you kind of pull the whole sleeping bag, if you will, over the quilt. But here, Steve, when he built this, kind of wound some extra attachments on here for me. And the biggest problem with these quilts, especially when you want to use an affordable lightweight hammock, is that they're just, the underquilt is just too big or the wrong shape. So here I just have these provisions built into it that I'm kind of tampering with. And I've been able to get them, you know, so there's not, the problem you'd have normally is there'd just be a whole bunch of space between the hammock and the quilt, and it wouldn't work right. I mean, it will help. And I have them so I can easily get out of it right now. And I find it to be working pretty well. I have modified really the whole setup, so I have a little clip. I use an X-Ped slit line, so this is just an advantage of that line, but you could see you could use a normal hammock ridge line. Normally I never use a hammock ridge line anyway, but in the winter especially, when you have a lot of excess cord to hang in the snow and ice, like with the system I have, I can kind of quickly pin it together into an adjustable ridge line. So knowing all these cords and lines definitely a fact. Now with Steve's kit and a lot of these kits out here, your top quilt or comforter might have provisions to attach to a pad. That's where these red shot cords came from. I'm sure there's always a better way to rig it up. These little clips here I got from Dutch Clips. They're just kind of the flexible version of a mitten hook. I'm sure a toggle or really about anything, maybe just the knot itself would work fine there. And I just kind of, you know, in essence, you really don't, with this system, you really don't need the shot cord to be in this sleeve. I could probably run it through these loops, you know, but I don't know how strong that would be. There's already a couple places where either it's just weak or I've just been a little aggressive with it, where the, I don't know, the thing's kind of fraying. I mean, I think it's a good job overall, but don't get me wrong, this is a $100 US quilt. It's rated at, I think, 20, and I would just say I'll continue to test this with my modifications, but I'd say as is, this might be more like a 35 Fahrenheit quilt. Yeah, 20 maybe the bottom line. And this is a couple years going into using this, but it's pretty comfortable right now. I mean, you might think, why has he got them things on there? How's he even going to get in and out of it? Well, it's not bad. I just sit on down in it, and I actually don't mind them at all, because I know that they're drawing it kind of right up against me, and it's, I mean, people just don't understand. There's a huge amount of, even right now, I'm reaching down there, I'm feeling space in there, and I hate that. Like I said, if I had it to do new and had the money, I'd probably go with superior gear, or basically an integrated underquilt. The hammock and quilt all sewn up together. But this is just using what I have and it's modular and it's lightweight, so I still have my really super lightweight hammock or whatever hammock I want. And I'm still kind of using everything I have. So yeah, like maybe $70, $40 on sale for this hammock, and $100 or so for the quilt. That's not too bad. And like I said, in the real cold, I can get down far below freezing if I have my X-Bed insulated pad. That's probably what I got the most money in. I have like my X-Bed pad was probably like $230 US or so, but it has a real high R value. It has a mummy shape, so it fits in here real nice. But you know, I think especially with the quilt integrated too, there's cheaper versions there, you know, using the pad with it. If I get some time, I'll blow up the pad. It's getting kind of late, but the pad would fit right in here, and you know, like I said, on its own, I'd trust this to about freezing or a little below, no problem. but with the pad that gets you far below freezing. The pad on its own, the pad is really nice to about 35 Fahrenheit, maybe freezing, but this underquilt lets it come up over your shoulders here where your hips might be against the hammock. So continue to test this and provide results.